Hey Sagittarius, this is Micah coming at you with another timeless reading. I do hope that this finds you well and in good spirits, and I'm trusting that it is finding you as it is meant to. I want to start this reading off from a place of loving gratitude. I want to thank all of you who support this channel with your likes, shares, comments, and subscribes. For those of you who feel so called, you can make a donation using the link in the description for Ko-fi, which is a platform that lets you make a one-time or monthly donation. But really, any of the support that you give this channel is deeply, deeply appreciated. If you do want to take a deep dive together, you can find me on my website and book a session, or on Hipsy, where I'm sometimes available live. So you can find all of that in the description down below. But I'm just grateful to have you here, and I hope that this is giving you what you need. I do have a couple of animal cards here. We have the turtle and the otter. Now, this is sort of interesting, because when I saw the turtle, I sort of smiled. This is like the antithesis of the stereotype of Sagittarius energy, right? It's slow, steady movement, maybe even a little bit of a homebody, although it does travel with its shell. It does travel with shelter and protection. It actually does feel like, as I was connecting to the energy, some of you are dealing with a sense of displacement. You aren't feeling at home, or maybe you have moved, or you're between homes. There's something kind of transitional happening in your living space right now. Maybe there's a tension with you and another person, or multiple people. It doesn't even necessarily have to be people in your living space. It could be people like neighbors, or maybe if you're in an apartment, like people above or below you. It just feels like, for whatever reason, you're not feeling quite settled. And there's also this sort of restless energy where it's like, where do I go? Do I want to go somewhere? Do I want to be home? Like, for some reason, that seems to be something that's coming up as well. And with turtle, it could also be that things are happening slower than you want them to. You might feel like your life has just stagnated, or things aren't going your way. But I do feel like there's more of an element of impatience here, if I'm being perfectly honest. The otter is actually really beautiful, because this is quite an uplifting energy. And I want to tell you that if you are feeling stuck in your life, or you're feeling sort of restless, physical movement or anything that you enjoy doing is going to help lift and move that energy. Sometimes when the otter comes up, you're kind of just taking life too seriously, which is sort of funny that I'm telling this to you. But it feels like it's important to kind of get out of your head, to give your energy, your emotions, a chance to flow and express. Okay. Now, what's also interesting is that while I was connecting to the energy, I did actually see a current. It actually looked more like an aurora, but it was very, very colorful. And noticing that both of the cards I pulled were water cards, I do feel like there's something about you following your flow. And it's like, you don't have to be working so hard to make something happen. And if it feels like you are trying to swim upstream, I'm really inviting you to be more curious about, where is the energy naturally leading you? I do also feel like there is a message about time here as well. Some of you feel like you are losing time, or wasting time, or wasted time. But I feel like there's something very valuable, not in thinking of time as something that is external, but you giving your time to something else. It's not something that you run out of. It's not like a finite resource. Rather, it is how you are spending your energy. And for some reason, that felt like a reframe that Spirit wanted me to give you. So I'm curious what this is about. I am going to start shuffling these cards here. What are the messages that we have for Sagittarius at this time? Show us clearly, please. Interesting. So we do have the Ace of Wands coming out with the Queen of Swords in reverse. Some of you have been reconnecting with passion, or there's something that's igniting you in some way in the recent past. But the Queen of Swords in reverse is almost being critical of this. I feel like some of you have been diffusing yourself. You haven't allowed yourself to be too excited or too passionate. But I feel like there's something that's inspiring you right now that actually feels aligned. Maybe this Queen of Swords also represents another person. Again, this could be a person that you're living with, or a person who is kind of proximal to your living space, or just kind of part of your day-to-day life. Interesting. I feel like a lot of you are feeling stuck in something more traditional with the Hierophant in reverse and the Queen of Pentacles in reverse. You want to do something different. You want to do something that other people might not understand. And it's funny, Sagittarius, because I feel like if this is what you're doing, it's like you're making this about other people. But that's not what's actually holding you back. What's holding you back is that you care what other people will say or think. And this is actually making a lot of sense. We have the Seven of Wands at the bottom of the deck. You're feeling defensive, like you need to defend yourself, stand up for yourself. Honestly, Sagittarius, I feel like there's almost some kind of decision or path or relationship that you haven't pursued, almost out of anticipation of how other people might think or react to it. And you might not even be aware that that's what you're doing. This could be very subconscious. It's something that you probably internalized even. But that's the thing. It's not them who's holding you back. No one can hold you back. You're holding yourself back. You're trying to go into some current that is like swimming upstream for you. And it almost feels like it's been stagnating you a little bit. Definitely feels like there's some family stuff coming up, maybe with like your upbringing, beliefs, something from childhood or culturally that has been ingrained in you. The Knight of Wands. Yeah, I feel like some of you are really just, again, it's this restless sort of energy. And it's like you don't even really know where to put it. And we need to go a little bit deeper here, Sagittarius. You need to reconnect with your inner child and give that inner child permission to inform the decisions that you're making for your life, to say yes to things that you want. Because some of you haven't even allowed yourself to name what you want. Maybe there's a vulnerability in that. Because when we name these things, we can become identified with them. Maybe you want to be an actor, or a writer, or a songwriter. And it means so much to you that if you fail, it's personal. It says something about you. It proves these people right. Ooh. Wow. The Devil and the Tower in reverse. Oh, interesting. There's the... Wow. Okay, we have the Nine of Pentacles that is underneath this. And this is so interesting because I feel like some of you have kept yourself stuck to something that is safe, familiar, even if it is something that ultimately isn't even sustainable for you, actually, with the Tower in reverse. It almost feels like you're trying to delay the inevitable. And the Nine of Pentacles is a card. While it can be about abundance, stability, even pursuing our interests, being comfortable, it's almost like by living a comfortable, safe life, you're actually imprisoning yourself. And the things that you think you want are actually imprisoning you because you're not letting yourself own what you truly desire. What is this? What is this desire? Some of you really did let go of a dream with the 7 of Cups in reverse and the Sun in reverse, especially something involving creativity or being in the spotlight. I feel like you were told you were too much, that you wanted too much. Some of you might even be quite successful, at least from the outside, or stable. You've achieved something. It's like you did what you were supposed to do. Especially, it almost feels like your family pressured you into doing something, or society pressured you into becoming something, and to reject what you really wanted. I'm also getting the message, now this is quite interesting, and use your discernment here, but it's like, in trying to choose both, you get neither. Or you don't get a meaningful amount of either. Like, you might try, what's an example of this? Like, maybe you want to have kids and be like a stay-at-home parent. But you also want to have a career. You know, you have these sort of conflicting things. And for some people, finding that in between makes sense. For a lot of people, actually, it does. But it feels like you're compromising for yourself. You didn't feel like you could have what you really wanted, or you could only have part of it. But it's leaving you feeling very restless right now. I'm also getting disconnected. Some of you are very disconnected from your body. It's very jittery feeling. I feel like a lot of you, if you've been drinking a lot of caffeine lately, what this tells me is that on the energetic level, you're not getting enough life force energy by doing the things that are aligned for you. And some of you really want to take this leap of faith with the Fool. And this is actually the card for the future. I do feel like there's a new beginning here. But you kind of have to go all in. And this could be for you. This could be about somebody else. Maybe some of you are holding back your feelings because you're afraid of how somebody else will respond. But you can't lose what you don't have. That also feels like an important message, and I feel like that came up in a reading not too long ago. You can't lose what you don't have. That doesn't mean that it's not a loss, right? That's kind of what this Devil and Tower in reverse feel like to me, especially with the Nine of Pentacles. It's like, you can't lose what you don't have. If something isn't sustainable, it's not going to be sustainable. Some of you have become over-identified with a role or with an achievement. And it's almost like you forgot the why. Connect to the why. Because that's where your happiness is with the Ten of Cups. That fulfillment, that harmony, that joy, those meaningful relationships. what is this word or this sound I'm hearing? It's like an O. It's very deep, it's very resonant. King of Wands in reverse. I feel like some of you have almost become identified with struggle. Like an achievement is only an achievement because you hurt for it. You struggled for it. And I'm not saying that people should give up when things get difficult. Not at all. Not at all. That's not what I'm saying. But it's like, if you are having to break yourself to fit into a mold, and it's a struggle just to exist in that way, like you don't get any joy out of it anymore, why are you doing this? Reconnect to the why. Because I think you're going to realize, Sagittarius, that a lot of the things that are keeping you stuck don't have to be there anymore. Some of you just feel committed or bound to something. Like you made a promise, you made your decision. Maybe this is a career, maybe it's a degree, maybe it's a relationship, maybe you even got like married young or something like that. You're allowed to change your mind. Five of Wands. Don't get stuck in a battle of egos. People are going to think what they're going to think. And avoid the power struggles. Because honestly, Sagittarius, it feels like you're already internally in a power struggle with yourself. And sometimes the Five of Wands is that internal conflict as well, too. It's like it's being pulled in different directions. And that's why I really think you need to connect to the why. And I don't think that's an answer that can just be given to you. You have to take the time to really sit with yourself. But I feel like whatever it is that you're holding yourself back on, you're going to be surprised when you take that leap. When I saw this turtle and the otter, it was like you step into the current and suddenly things happen way faster than you expected. Maybe you decide to move out and all of a sudden you find a new place. You know somebody who is renting a place or selling a place. Say yes to the change that you're afraid of. Say yes to the things you're avoiding. Because ironically, those are the things that are probably going to make you the happiest. Or it's going to be the most direct path to your happiness. And it might not even make sense on the surface why that would be the case. But energetically, you would be in your flow. And things happen more naturally when you're in a flow state. Picking and choosing your battles here. What is worth fighting for and what is just fighting yourself? What is the civil war you are engaging in with yourself? I'd love to hear in the comments down below. I hope this is making sense for people. I'm trusting that it is for those it's meant for. Is there anything else? I was hearing like Broadway? Maybe performing again? Or maybe that's like a street near you? That's probably only for a couple of you. Some of you might also be people who are interested in things like design, like set design or makeup. But it was almost like there wasn't prestige in it, or like people didn't care enough about that for you, which is sad. I'm also hearing hair. That's kind of interesting. I feel like some of you just really want to express yourself in different ways as well. Like you've had to dress a certain way, or when you were young, you had to dress a certain way. You could only express yourself in very limited ways. So, be a little more avant-garde, I guess, with the way you express yourself, the way you are dressing. Break the mold, break the stereotypes. You don't have to do things the way everybody else does it. You can do it your way. Is there anything else? I feel like there's one more message here. And the cards just got really heavy. So I am going to pull from the Moon Oracle here. What is the guidance here? What is the message for Sagittarius? Wow. Full moon in Virgo. You are good enough. So yeah, I feel like there's this sense of perfectionism or kind of inner critic that's really harmful to you right now. Or maybe this is energy that's around you. There's just a lot of criticism. I'm getting a lot of criticism, actually, with the Five of Wands. And it's almost by, like... To be honest, like, I hate to go here, but it does almost give, like... Maybe some of you were raised by a narcissistic parent. And by you being too much, too successful, too good at something, it took the limelight off of them. And you were shamed for that, and you internalize that. I'm also hearing that it could be the other way around. A parent wanted to hide, and you didn't. And that was challenging for them. Maybe they had the narcissistic parent or something. Anyways, I want to read this full moon in Virgo for us. It's time to be really honest with yourself and understand what's led you to ask your question. Have you been humble to the point of being self-effacing? Humility is good, but it can go too far. And drawing this card suggests you might be underrating yourself. You don't have to be flashy, just quietly certain that you are good enough. At the other end of this scale, you also need to answer honestly this question, or you also have to honestly answer the question, have you been too picky? The full moon in Virgo card needs some truthful answers. Once you've given them, it should be easier to see how you got where you are. Your next step should then be more obvious to you. Pay attention to the details. Hard work brings results. Attune to the moon. Find a balance between the cosmic and the mundane in your daily life. Additional meanings for this card: worrying too much will attract more things to worry about. Have you been overly critical? An apology may be in order. Stop second-guessing yourself. Raise your karma by doing something good for someone else. The teaching: the full moon in Virgo is a time to declutter your life, your home, and your office. It's time to sort what's good in your life from what's not serving you. It's also time to clear out energies via salt baths and meditations, and to practice getting more grounded by walking barefoot. No matter when you draw this card, it's a reminder that any time is a good time to start living a healthier life. And really just to start any routine. It's not too late. You didn't miss your chance to start a routine. If you are watching this, you can still begin something. You can still build habits for yourself, and start like long-term projects. There was something here that really stood out to me too. Oh my goodness, what was it? I mean, this was definitely a very relevant card with what we were just talking about. Hard work brings results. So I feel like a lot of you have been working very, very hard. And it's almost like if you put a fraction of that energy into yourself, into what you really want to go after, the current would just, the momentum would be incredible. It would be the most efficient use of your energy. And actually, by trying to talk yourself out of it, you're being very inefficient and very impractical. That's kind of this full circle, full moon in Virgo energy, I guess. Anyways, I do hope that this was helpful. These are all the messages I have for you today, Sagittarius. I would love to hear from you in the comment section down below. Again, all of your support you give this channel is deeply, deeply appreciated, and you can find all of my links in the description. I'm sending lots of love and blessings your way. Take care, Sagittarius.